Walk ice on the islands. Immigration and FBI agents rounded up at least 40 undocumented people on both Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard.
That's right, and this happened right after Memorial Day weekend. NBC 10's Molly Levine joins us live in studio with what Islanders are saying tonight. Molly?
Tammy and Dan, I spoke with the editor-in-chief at the local newspaper, the Nantucket Current, who says the effects were felt almost immediately. He paints the picture for us. What happened Tuesday?
Started getting messages, around 7 a.m.
A Tuesday morning wake-up call on Nantucket Island.
That ICE was on the island, that they were stopping cars and vehicles around the Mid-Island area.
According to ICE, at least 12 undocumented people were apprehended on Nantucket Tuesday. The editor-in-chief at the local newspaper, the Nantucket Current, went out to the scene.
Cars had been left behind on the street. We talked with one woman who was in a car on Old South Road who had two people in her car taken into custody, and she was there in the passenger seat just waiting to be picked up by a friend. She didn't speak English, so we couldn't really communicate too much.
The immigrants were transported off the island by a U.S. Coast Guard boat.
Had life jackets on and were marched out in shackles down the dock and onto the boat and taken away.
Between both Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard Islands, about 40 people were detained, including one documented gang member and at least one child sex offender, according to ICE. Massachusetts Democratic State Rep. Julian Sir represents the islands in the Commonwealth. He posted on X saying in part that he's saddened and alarmed by the large-scale immigration enforcement actions. He goes on to say while federal officials continue to cite the arrest of two individuals with criminal histories, that does not justify these broad, indiscriminate tactics with little regard for due process. Those living on the island say the effects were felt almost immediately.
Noticeably less traffic than there usually is. There was less cars at school pickup at the public schools. People showed us messages from different companies, whether it was landscapers or house cleaners, saying, they're not going to be able to get to the serve their clients today because workers were afraid and were staying home.
And Jason says the last immigration enforcement operation in September had the same chilling effect where people were fearful to leave their homes and staying home from work. And only time will tell how it could impact summer business. I'm live in studio, Molly Levine, NBC 10 News.